So I'm stripping down this rear sway bar and I found out which one is which. I got my caliper out and then I measured the thickness of the sway bar. And this thinner one is the one for the SI. And the bigger one that I have, I'm not sure yet. I have to still keep looking. But I found out this one is the SI one. And I removed the bushings. They were on this end right here. And these ones that are like in this hole right here. I still gotta search to see if I can even get these bushings. So I'm trying to take these out without damaging them. And I don't have like a little press to do it, but this is the way I took out this other one. So I just carefully put this little flathead screwdriver here and just pried it through the bottom of it. Now I think these bushings are still like in okay condition, because if I was doing this to like some really old bushings, they'd probably like deteriorate and break off. So I got the screwdriver through here, and then I just get something. This is just a like 10mm socket, and wedge this, and then I just kind of push down on it and try to work it through. Yeah, the first one was easy. This one's a bitch. Ha! Okay, it's coming. I tried using a C-clamp with like a big socket on the end and another small socket so I could try to press it out like that, because that's the only thing that I have close to a press, just like the really big C-clamp, just like this one right here. But I'm just kind of moving around too much and I couldn't really get it out. So I was just gonna cut them off, like fuck it, and see if I can find some new ones. But yeah. So it's coming out, but see, I was kind of pushed in there, and just get the socket and just keep pushing it down. All right, so yeah, that's how I got these out. They look fine, but I'll see if I can get some brand new ones so I can replace these. So now I got this rear sway bar all stripped out, and this will be going to the powder coating place this week. So I got that, and I got the brackets to it, and these little like C brackets that went on the bushings for this. These bushings that I took out of this rear sway bar, they had these little metal insert bushing as well, and those I had just slid off using the bolt that was in this, and that's what made it like kind of like squishy, so it can be easier to pull out of the sway bar there. And these are the end link bushings, and you can see that there's like cracks on this one. So they need to be replaced. So from what I've seen, it's just this end link, but it doesn't come with this bottom bushing here that I'm hoping I can find. But there's so many suspension companies, like somebody's got to make a replacement for these. Because I mean, there's a bunch of aftermarket companies that make sway bars for these cars. So I hope one of them was smart enough to make this. Also, I had got this torch kit that I was going to use to burn off the bushings. I got this from Walmart, like it was like 16 bucks, $16. And here's like basic torch kit. I opened this shit up and it's just the tank itself, like it doesn't have the nozzle. I'm like, man, stupid. But yeah, like it shows that it has like this little igniter on it. But so, and I think I threw away the fucking receipt, so probably have to go buy another one and see if I can talk them into just letting me exchange this so I can get what I need. Alright, I got one of these bolts that I was trying to get out stripped out on me. So I got this little torch heating up the bolts now to see if I can get them out easier that way. Got that bushing burned out and cleaned out. I'll show a little bit better once this I'll see if I can get it maybe like glowing red. But I used this little wire brush here to clean out some of the inside after I burned the bushing out, and I used my impact with a 32mm so I can get the real spindle or this hub out with the bearing. So that comes out. This little washer deal is in there. That's the nut. This dust cover comes off. Once you get this off, you get these 10mm bolts out to get that off. This dust cap, you just gotta hammer it off with I use this flathead right here to just bang that off, and then I just kind of put it against this wheel stud to kind of keep this in place, and just tap it off and work my way out around it to get that popped off. But I'm gonna see if I can remove these bolts because they're pretty tough to get out. I think they got thread locker on them, but I'm gonna see if I can get them off, and then if not, then I might just have to get this painted, these two parts together. But I really want to get it off, so I'll see what I do. Okay, so I got one of the bolts out right now. Came out pretty easy, and they do have this blue thread locker on them. So yeah, I just heated up the bolt for not even that long, and it came out pretty good. I was thinking I was gonna need like an impact, but I'm using just a regular Craftsman T50 Torx bit that I got with my kit that I got recently, and then just with like a little extended handle came out. So I don't know if you guys can see. Let's see. Oh, you can see that one in there that's got a little stripped out, but hopefully what happened was I fucking used a smaller Torx bit, and by the time I try to use this one, it was a no-go. But I'll see if I can get that one out once I heat it up. If not, then I'm gonna have to drill it out and chisel it off or something. And I think I'm a little bit low on propane, so I'm gonna have to get a few more cans. But I'm gonna see what I can work to get these other these three off, and then see if I can get this off. But that's a little progress there, so that's the good news, that I was able to get these off without too much effort. All right, so while I got that another bolt over there heating up, I'm gonna try to get this dust cap off the other trailing arm. I'm just using this really old flathead screwdriver that has the handle broken off of. I think it was just like I think I had a wooden handle, I think, on it, and that shit just broke off. It got rotted. So this is old screwdriver that came from like a garage, so I think. So I'm gonna just bang this out real quick. So see, I just put it against here. Just try to smack this off. You just try to catch it on the lip of this here. It's kind of tough while this is moving around. Alright, so it's popping off now. And just try to work your way around to get this off. Yeah, these dust caps, you're gonna have to get some new ones because it's fucking them up. One time use only. All right, so that exposes the nut here, and I'm using this 32mm with my impact, same as like the front spindles. Just pop this off real quick in here. Boom. Get that shit out of my face. All right, so yeah, and then I'll have to get my shit, that shit looks stripped in there. I got these real trailing arms from a guy who was stripping out his Civic hatch, and he had done this swap on them. So I'm gonna have to drill that up most likely, and then disassemble this. But I just wanted to show you guys how I did like that first one, because I'm gonna get that first one painted, and then once I get it back, I have this one kind of complete, so I know like what bolts go where, so I don't forget what goes where too. And I'm gonna just take the parts, like I said, in small batches to get painted. So guys, I was over here burning one of the bolts, and I know I have one that was stripped out, and I was thinking like they sell like those sockets that are used to like grip around like a bolt, and I was thinking maybe with that I could have gotten out. So I was here heating up a bolt, And I looked at this one, I was like, dang, this one's pretty stripped out. I was like, maybe it was like the second one that I was trying to get out, but this is the main one that was really stripped out. I'll see if you guys can see this in the light better, but this is the one that was like really fucked up, and I actually got it out with just the regular T50. So I highly recommend heating up these bolts to aid in the taking these out. And I heated these up, like I counted like a minute and like 15 seconds. I heat up the back a minute 50 seconds, and then I go to the front and I heat like around it, like in a circle, like a few times, and then just they unscrew out like pretty good. So just do each one of them one at a time, and just take your time with them, just have patience with them. They come out pretty good. I mean, this is working out for me. I was watching a YouTube video on how some guy did these, but the way he did his, like he was like heating up like all of them like in a circle, and I think that just kind of like because when you heat them up, they're supposed to like expand and contract or whatever, but I think when he goes around in a circle, they just kind of like expand back out, and it's like hard for him to get them out. But this is working for me, just doing one by one. I got 3 of them out, and the other one's got a good head on it, so I should get it out pretty easy. So I want to go my sockets, and this socket back here is a 24 millimeter, and we'll just knock that one out. Ooh. And that's how I remove this rear spindle. So yeah, this is all stripped out now, no bolts on it. And show you guys, this is like on the inside. When I use that wire brush, I burned out the bushing, and I use the wire brush just to get some of the little small remaining little pieces inside there. But I cleaned that out. I figure it's really good to clean this out in case when I take it to get a powder coated, maybe they miss something out here. But I plan on leaving this sleeve in here instead of knocking it out, because if I would have to removed it and got it painted, and then when I press this sleeve back in with the bushings, I figure maybe it's gonna like peel or push out some of the paint from the inside and not get coated right. So I'm gonna leave it in there, and also because it helps protect this against moving it around. These rear spindles, they look like they're one whole piece. I was thinking maybe like this shaft like popped out, but it just looks like it's just one whole piece. So see if I can take it to the powder coating place as well, get painted. Maybe I can get the whatever silver like covered up with some tape maybe, and get these painted and installed back. I might have to get new bolts to put these on. And like I was saying about this sleeve too, why I want to leave it on is because when you put it back in, it's kind of got to be kind of like a certain depth pushed back inside, how it's kind of like flush over here with the control arm or trailing arm. So it wouldn't be hard, I think, to put it back in, but this is just the way that I'm gonna do it, and see if that works out for me. So I got the trailing arm for one side I'm gonna take to get painted with the spindle, and then the brake dust cover. There's like some little bends in it that I'm just get like some needle nose pliers, and then I bend these little edges over here, like right here, this little edge here and up here. I'm gonna just brush off this kind of clean, take it to get painted as well. And then this I think I might just get this painted too, but before I'm gonna pop out these wheel studs. I got some ARP wheel studs put in here, just some like almost like factory length. These are like in really great shape, but I just want to put some like a little bit stronger ones to put in there while I have all this taken apart too. And I'm gonna have to try to get some new bearings for these. I still need to order the rear bearings, rear and front bearings. So I think I might get this painted as well, because if I just get some new ones, they're gonna be all shiny and nice, but they're gonna rust out just like this one did. So I figure if they're painted, protected, they'll just look a little nicer too. All right guys, I just got done cleaning for the day. Sun's starting to go down and it's getting a little bit chilly, but So this is some of the parts that I'm gonna take for like my first batch to get powder coated. These are the little brackets that go around the bushings. They go on the sway bar. So I'm gonna take these two to get cleaned up, powder coated. And then these are the other brackets that go for the sway bar to the body. Take those to get powder coated. And then the spindle that I took off today, I'm gonna get this powder coated as well. And then one of these like little dog bone things, dog bone that goes inside the rear trailing arm bushing. I only have one. When I got my trailing arms, I was missing one of them. I think it was just like ripped out and fell out. I probably have it somewhere, but I might have to get another one of these from a salvage yard. So I'll take that to get painted. And then this rear sway bar and the trailing arm to get painted up. And then this dust cover. I got these little caps too. They go where the upper control arm goes on the front. I'm just gonna toss these into the bucket too, the parts that I'm gonna get painted for the first round. I don't even know if I can really use these for the, I got some skunk 2 upper control arms. I don't know if the nut's gonna be like bigger, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit these on. But I'm gonna just toss these in the bucket. Doesn't hurt to have some little clean pair. On these initially, I thought that I could just burn out the bushings, but they actually have sleeves that are pressed in. So either I'm gonna buy a press, or I'm thinking about renting out the ball joint press that AutoZone has to rent out, and see if I can rig something up to use that to maybe pop these out. I'm gonna try that first before I buy a press, see if that works out for me. But if I can get these done, then I'll take these this week too. I'll take a pair, get them done, so I can get those powder coated, and then get some bushings for those. But yeah, made pretty good progress today, taking off that rear spindle. I thought I was gonna have trouble with that stripped out bolt, but I lucked out taking that one out. Just finished cutting off the cat off my exhaust too. I need to buy like a grinding disc or something to flatten this down, so I can weld the flange onto my cat and then just bolt it up regularly. All right. Well, I picked up my parts from getting powder coated yesterday. Overall, they came out pretty good, but there's a couple that I think I'm going to have to take back to get redone. Right here is the spindle. This one, they masked off like this area right here that mates with the control arm, but this needs to get painted too, and just have like the nut not painted, or else it's just gonna rust kind of bad. So I don't know why they masked this off, but so I'm gonna take this back so they can redo it. I'll take the other side so I can show them the differences, how it was painted before. Maybe the guy that did the work didn't pay attention or something. So there's a spindle that I'm taking back, and then my rear sway bar, this one came out really nice too, but they masked off the insides where the bushing goes, and I kind of rather have that painted than not. So I think I'm gonna take this bar back so they can paint the insides of the bush where the bushings go, so that doesn't rust out. So, but overall, I mean, they did really good work on getting these parts painted. So that's the sway bar. Everything else came out really nice besides these two. I'm gonna take back. So here are the brackets for the sway bar. Put you guys in the light, but these came out really nice. What I really like is that they like the mounting holes, they cleaned them out too. I thought I was gonna have to get like some taps and clean out the holes. I thought they would have paint in them, but I like that they did that with these. So these are the brackets for the sway bar. I have up here. Here's the other little brackets for the bushings for the sway bar. and the little caps that go for the upper control arm, sorry, upper ball joint, little nut covers. So those came out nice. And then I took one of the trailing arms and a dust cover and the dog bone. So there's dust cover. This came out really nice, especially because I like unbent some of those, like 3 edges I think. They were kind of messed up just from laying the whole assembly on the ground. It was just kind of getting banged up. But painted, you can't really tell that they got messed up. Not really matter too much, but yeah, that came out nice. And this little dog bone air thing for the trailing arm bushing came out nice too. And lastly, trailing arm here. Put this in the light. This came out really nice. And see, when I took out these other parts that they had masked, those areas, I was thinking that they masked this inside hole where the trailing arm bushing is gonna go. But I'm glad they didn't, because I wanted to have that protected inside too. So yeah. And again, they covered up all these little mounting holes too. So that's really good. Well, I'm doing some weird shit over here. I was using that little press that I got from Advance Auto. And this is what I got going on. Some little physics stuff going on. But I put this bar against this tire. So I pull the wrench, push the wrench down, that way that the C-clamp doesn't, so it's kind of bracing itself from turning. I put a socket that fit the outside of the bushing, and on this opposite side, this little, like C-clamp on the end is like big enough to go around the bushing on that side. But this tool, I see it has like this little piece on the end that this is missing. This piece right here, it's missing that, so it's just like the bolt. So I put this piece of metal that came out of the rear trailing arm. The rear trailing arm came with these, I had these little pieces of metal inside when I burnt the bushing out. So I put this in place because the bolt was just kind of like pushing itself into the socket hole. Like it's a 1/2 inch socket, and the bolt was just kind of pushing itself through there. So I put that little piece of metal just as a plate so I can just push against the socket and not damage the socket. But I don't think it's gonna work. I'm pulling on it pretty tight, but that's just not budging at all. Try to keep you guys updated with my progress. For this next month, I'll try to get more suspension work done, tackle the bay maybe and the wiring, but I'll see what I get done with time limits and with the way things are working in life right now with this damn coronavirus and shit. And I don't know, work's kind of slow too for me where I work. So we'll see how things go and how the money rolls, and see what I get done. I hope you guys enjoy this video here, and don't subscribe, guys.